Morning, and it's a lovely calm Sunday morning. It was red hot yesterday and now it's cloudy, so it's calmed down a bit. Nice day for a ride. And that there is my Movano camper van of which yesterday I spent 5 hours with the missus tea cutting it and bringing the plastic back from a white black to a black ish. It's not perfect, but it's not the faded white that it was. Yes, 5 hours tea cutting it and then waxing it, because I don't think it had been pampered since it was put together by Vauxhall. But yes, there you go, the Suzuki Swift, my little Suzuki Swift, my 58 plate Suzuki Swift has gone. Sold that, well, pretty much gave it to my daughter. Well, I never gave it to her. You don't give anything away, do you? But she got it cheap. Her car and her boyfriend's van are both the worse for wear. And so I sold it to her cheap. So they've got something to get around in. And me and the missus went and saw that camper van. My missus absolutely fell in love with it, so we bought it. And to be honest, we probably shouldn't have, because it's a bit of a wreck. I think we both went in with the rose tinted glasses, and we've sort of paid for it. It was massively overpriced and we still bought it, and I sort of knew it was overpriced. I mean, even if it was tip top at that age, and for the DIY camper version that it's had, probably £5 would have done it. But it was up for 7.5. I knocked the bloke down to 6.9, and then 2 days before our maiden voyage, my missus said, "Do you want to just check that there's gas in the gas bottle?" So I turned the gas bottle on to try the stove, and could hear a hissing. And yes, sure enough, it was leaking. They'd put the gas pipe, celebrations going on. They'd put the gas pipe directly underneath the bottom of one of the burners, stove burners. They'd wrapped it in insulation. The trouble was, it was touching the bottom of the burner, which gets, as you can imagine, red hot. That melted through the insulation. Well, it sort of burnt it, charred it. I don't think it actually burnt it through. It melted the pipe inside it, so it sort of cooked it. And there was a half-inch hole in the pipe. Bloke I bought it off swears blind he didn't know nothing about it. He'd been out last trip, used the stove and the oven, and no problems. And it's like, yeah, could have, would have, no, not really. Anyway, he gave me £100 back for the inconvenience. we decided we weren't going to use the oven anyway, so threw that away. I re-piped what gas pipe was left, so the twin burner stove was working, and we went away on the Saturday. What was that, a couple of weeks back? No, 3 weeks back, and had an absolutely fantastic time away. Which was brilliant, and we used the stove and we didn't die, so I think I'll fix that. But for paying £7 for something, well, 6-9, you expect the gas to be plumbed in properly. Yeah, and then we obviously did a test drive on it, and the kiddie that was selling it, he put the stereo on to, well, before we left he put the stereo on to show that it's starting to rain. That's no good. Yeah, sorry, he put the stereo on to show that it links with your phone and the speaker system, which, to be fair, the speaker system is top notch. It sounds brilliant, and yeah, it's a quality stereo system. We went out for a test drive with the stereo on, and by then he'd linked it to his phone, so he had control over it. It was a little bit louder than I actually wanted, but it was like, right, whatever. And yeah, went out for a test drive, and all seemed to be working fine. Went through the gears, no problem. Had a bit more grunt than I thought it would, and yeah, took it back, done the deal, 6-9, and then when we picked it up, we didn't have the stereo on because we was just driving back and talking, and there was a funny noise, and I thought, there's a funny noise. That's what I thought. So I had a look at the records for the van, and the offside front bearings and hub had been replaced by a firm in Worthing, and so I thought, well, it can't be the hub. It definitely sounded like it was coming from the driver's front side. So I thought, yeah, it can't be the hub. Must just be a stone caught in there, because I didn't hear it on the test drive. It wasn't the loudest of noises. But I took it in to ATS in Port Slade anyway, and then we found out the reason. By the looks of it, the people that had done the work on the front had misplaced, lost, broken, I don't know which, one of the caliper carrier bolts, and instead of finding another one and fitting it correctly, they'd got what looked like a wheel stud, and the guy at ATS reckoned it might have been from a Transit, which is splined to go in through the back of the hub and poke out, and then obviously you screw your wheel to it, and they'd forced that into the hole. Well, I say forced, they drilled out the hole a bit and then forced it in. In doing this, they'd actually bent the arm that the caliper carrier bolts to, which had offset the caliper by just the slightest of millimeters, which meant the brake pad was rubbing, and that was making this noise. So what I thought was a stone or something wedged in there was actually a proper bodge job done on the hub replacement. So I had to buy a second-hand hub, 150 quid, a couple more bolts just in case the other one was a bit furked, they were 15 quid, and then I had to buy another caliper carrier, which was another 27 quid. And when I got back onto the bloke that I bought it off to say about the abortionate work of the garage he took it to, and more to tell him probably best not to go back there, rather than asking for money back. I'd bought it, sold as seen. I've not got any argument really. To which he replied, I don't know, I don't trust garages, I just take them in, they do the work and I pay them. So I didn't think the attitude was brilliant, but that's down to him. If he wants to take his vehicles there and they do some dodgy work that he pays hundreds of pounds for, then that's up to him. But yes, I've had all that done, and now it's nice and quiet on the front, no weird noises, and we're destined to go away next Saturday. This is the Sunday of the Queen's Jubilee weekend, so first weekend of June. I didn't want to go away this weekend because probably a lot of people have gone away this weekend, and I want to go away for the peace and quiet, not to hear loads of kids running around screaming. I'm so old. So yes, we've booked away next weekend, only in one night again. Oh, that was a bump. Oh. Yeah, so as I say, we're away again, and road works or road closed? And this will be our second night away. We went last weekend. Yeah, last weekend we went to Edinburgh, which was extremely nice. Not in the camper, we flew up via British Airways, which was touch and go for a while. They've certainly been cancelling flights. So yes, went up there and back, and had a fantastic time. And as I say, I didn't want to be away this weekend because it's bank holiday weekend, so I just thought it's going to be busy, people are going to be wanting to get away, so we're going next weekend instead. And we haven't been far, we only went up near Horsham for our maiden journey, and the next one will be over to Selsey near Chichester. I'm down near Brighton, so they're not big journeys at the moment. And as we acclimatise to the van and figure out what we need and what we don't need for longer stays, so we'll work it out. I mean, it's got all the it's got the solar power and a couple of leisure batteries, which when we was away I think in the evening we watched telly and had the lights on and that for at least 3 hours or so, and they cope with that no problem. Oh, we're charging our phones as well, so they cope with that no problem. So I'm quite confident that we could, with full leisure batteries, we could go away for a couple of nights, no problem. Obviously we've got the 2-burner stove for cooking the food and boiling up the kettle to make some tea. So yes, although I definitely think I've done a wrong in buying the van, we've bought it now. Suck it up, innit? Suck it up, deal with it, get on with it. And there's a couple of bits I've done. There was a fridge in there as well, which is only a little portable thing, but it was too small, so we've upgraded that. So as you can tell, I've bought this thing. I've already thrown the cooker away and upgraded the fridge, so it won't be much more stuff to do, and I'll have actually done the camper van myself. But yes, I don't know whether I'll video my exploits. I will do a video and a walk round and everything of the van, and so you can have a look at it, so you can have a laugh at it. We've put up blackout curtains behind the front seats, give us a bit more privacy. That was another thing he was saying, you know, they couldn't figure out how to put up these curtains, so they just draped a blanket down, and it's like, it was so simple. There's wood panelling in the roof, so I screwed a couple of hooks in, put a net curtain wire across, and hung some curtains. So yeah, it's nowhere near as good as what I could have bought for nearly £7,000, but it's ours, and it's got the name of Chuggernaut because it's our biggest vehicle. So it's not quite a Juggernaut, but it's our big vehicle. And it chugs along. As I say, it's not the fastest machine out there, but I hope not to be holding up the traffic too much, because I know how much that winds me up. I'm definitely the sort of person that will pull over and let traffic past if there's a bit of a build up behind me. But yes, Chuggernaut is born. And as I say, 5 hours yesterday, tea cutting and waxing the vehicle. Another thing that really should have been done if you're selling a vehicle. Possibly. Not that it matters, I bought it anyway. Anyway, that's enough of me telling you about my dodgy camper van. Hope you're all keeping well and you've all had a good bank holiday weekend. Lovely long bank holiday weekend. And I'll catch you again. Ta-ra.